Hey y'all, this is my summary video for basic facts and addition for week 6. All right, from the basic facts section, I got this. It was there are 380 basic arithmetic facts, 100 addition facts that include all possible combinations in which each of the add-ins is a whole number under 10. And then 90 subtraction facts that include all possible combinations in which the subtrahend and the difference are one-digit numbers. 100 multiplication facts that include all possible combinations in which each of the factors is a single-digit number. 90 division facts that include all possible combinations in which the divisor and the quotient are single-digit numbers. And this important point, basic facts should be taught in a carefully planned sequence, and new sets should be introduced systematically to avoid confusion. And I have a note here to see the sequence on pages 70 and 71. Those charts are very, very helpful, and I will be sure to keep those for reference. And we'll move on. Okay, so my aha moment from our text. As you know, I often draw personal connections to what we are learning because I've had experience in some of these areas, and I just really had an out loud, like, really moment when I read this part of our text. And it was to do with how or when to introduce multiplication facts. Like, when does that happen? And many students will not have mastered all basic addition and subtraction facts at the time when a program calls for the introduction of multiplication. This is very true, happened in our family. Multiplication instruction should begin in the 3rd grade. And that was the moment I was just that I knew it, when I saw this. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. Even if addition and subtraction facts may not have been completely mastered, basic multiplication facts is critical or are a critical prerequisite for more advanced operations and should be mastered no later than the end of 3rd grade. And I wish I can explain how important it is, and I'm really going to try. I remember when our youngest son was progressing through the 3rd grade, and I remember being concerned because they had not covered any multiplication facts. And I remember not seeing any work sent home or any of those cute little cards sent home for our son to practice, as our older son did in the 3rd grade. I just remember our older son would have drills and they'd have competitions where they would try to solve as many multiplication facts as they could in like 2 minutes or something, and it was a big deal in 3rd grade. So when our younger son started to come through the 3rd grade, I was really concerned because I just wasn't seeing the same for him. And it was because the program they were using at the time just didn't introduce it, multiplication or division, in the 3rd grade. And I remember calling a meeting, and it was kind of a big deal. And I didn't really walk away happy from that situation because it was the curriculum that they were using at the time. And so we worked on those multiplication facts anyway at home, but it really would have been nice if that had been introduced at that point in his time in school. So yeah. Okay, so back to addition. In the beginning stages, students are taught to solve addition problems with concrete or semi-concrete objects representing each add-in. Later, students must learn to solve addition problems without the objects by mastering basic addition facts and equality skills. And so students must be taught the functional definition of equality when solving addition problems, and this is how we should say it. We must end with the same number on this side, meaning the right-hand side, and the other side of the equal sign. so that both sides must be equal. They must balance in addition. And that's what I got from the addition part. And for touch point math, that was also somewhat of a review for me because we did use those. We did use touch point math with our youngest. And it's a curriculum that allows students to use visuals when counting and adding numbers. And the actual number has the dots, the touch points, to prompt students in counting on. Single dots count as one tap, literally a tap, and touch points with circles should be counted with 2 taps. And after lots of practice, the touch points can be taken away and students can actually draw them for themselves. This is very helpful for students that need that visual, and that way whenever they see that number, they'll visualize those dots probably forever, and it's a really great way to provide that visual. All right, so here are the implications for teachers. Multiplication must be introduced to students beginning in the 3rd grade. This is also true for students that haven't mastered addition and subtraction facts, and so this would also include division. Multiplication and division are critical toward more advanced mathematics. Teachers can set aside additional time for students to work on addition and subtraction facts later as they progress, but that multiplication and division has to happen in the 3rd grade. Teachers must also practice record keeping to monitor student progress. Record keeping should involve minimal paperwork because we have lots of paperwork. And teachers should also encourage parents to work on math facts with their child for around 10 minutes, 3 or 4 days a week. And that is very true. Again, from the parent side of this, we constantly practice those math facts. And we would even run drills at home. And I don't know if you guys remember it, I don't have one here with me, but those fidget spinners, I mean, they were crazy about those a few years ago. Well, they spin for about 2.5 or 3 minutes. So I remember I would have my boys sit down, well, probably Ian at the time, because I think Aiden was much older. But I remember having Ian sit and we would say, get ready, get set, go. And we'd spin the spinner and he'd try to solve as many multiplication facts as he could before the spinner stopped. So that made it a lot of fun, and he had the visuals and the stimulation from the spinner, and he was just really involved. So that's what I have for you on that. And I found some additional resources for apps that work well with touch math, and I'll see if I can show them to you here during this presentation. It takes a minute. So this one is Touch Math, and here are a couple of the screenshots, and you can see it's probably a touch, tap situation where you do the counting. And so that was that one. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. And there's another one here from the App Store that works with the iPad. Let's see if it'll come up. Okay, so maybe not. That's all right. I'll include the PowerPoint in the discussion post. And here is an article from the Autism Helper. It's a great article explaining touch math, which is similar to touch points, and it would be a great resource for parents. All right, so here's my script practice, and let's go and see how this works. All right, so this is an equal sign, and I hope you can see me pointing to the equal sign. What is this? And students would respond, equal sign. And then here where the teacher, here's a rule. We must end with the same number on this side as the other side of the equal sign. Let's see if we end up with the same number on this side and the other side. And let's count the lines on this side as I touch them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many did we end up with on this side? Students would respond, 5. So we must end up with 5 on the other side. Let's count these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we end up with 5? Yes, we did. We did end up with 5. So these sides are equal. We ended with the same number on this side as on the other side. So we have an equal sign. So let me show you another one. Okay. Listen again to the equal rule. We must end with the same number on this side and the other side of the equal sign. Say the equal rule. Students, we must end with the same number on this side and the other side of the equal sign. Let's see if the sides are equal. How many do we end with on this side? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do we end up with on this side? 1, 2. Do we end up with the same number on this side? No. Are these sides equal? No. These sides are not equal, so I don't write an equal sign here. They are not equal. All right, and that's what I have for you for the script practice. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.